Thank you for joining us today for a special CancerVax update. I'm CEO Ryan Davies, and I wanted to go over some exciting developments and answer some recent questions that we've received. Joining me today is cancer survivor and CancerVax Chief Marketing Officer, Byron Elton.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Byron?
Good. So I'm excited to be here to talk about the work that we're doing with UCLA and the progress that we've made. And it's been significant.
It's interesting, Byron, because it seems every week there's some study or some stat that shows rising cancer problems. Cancer has touched so many lives. It's touched people in my life. It's touched you personally. So what are your thoughts on this situation?
It's ubiquitous, and the trends are really discouraging. They say by 2040, they estimate there'll be almost 30 million new cancer cases worldwide. And that really sounds an alarm. And the big debate is, what's the best approach to fix the problem?
Yeah, I know the discussions that we've had they've been a lot of finger pointing, many different factors. Does this work? Does this work? And can we really figure this out? But the truth is that while there's an increased number of people stricken with cancer, these people need treatments. These people need help. And that's really why we're here.
Yeah, for sure. So historically, the traditional treatments have been chemotherapy, radiation, surgery. I went through two of those three. And while they can be effective, they're very invasive. And sometimes the side effects are worse than the disease itself. So that's why this discussion is so important.
Yeah. Well, we all know the images that come to mind when we think of cancer. In fact, I'll tell you just a very brief story of a dear friend of mine and a business partner of over 20 years who had throat cancer and went through radiation only. He lost all of his teeth, Byron.
Wow.
And had to have new dental implants put in, all because of the radiation. And to illustrate the point that you were just making, although the treatments today can work, they're invasive and it's not easy on people.
In my case, it was prostate cancer. I had the radical prostatectomy, so I had the surgery. After that, I went through the radiation, and it was tough, man. It was fortunately no chemo, but I'll tell you, the mental aspect of waiting for those tests to come back in, and what are the options depending on if it's spread, if it's not spread, so hard on the individuals and quite frankly, the family. And I got to tell you, it's one of the reasons that I'm so excited to be a part of CancerVax and the incredible work we're doing to find a better way to treat cancer than the traditional treatments.
Listen, the traditional treatments, they work, but as you said, Byron, and you've experienced on a personal level, they're invasive and they're not good to the body. And so that's why I agree with you. We're so excited about CancerVax. The costs for the healthcare system and cancer are astronomical. By 2030, I think the costs are expected to be $246 billion. It's just insane.
Yeah, think about that, $250 billion. When I saw the bill for my cancer, I couldn't believe it. And fortunately, I had good insurance. For a lot of Americans, they don't. And it disrupts their family, in some cases destroys families. And that's another reason that this initiative is so important.
Yeah, I'm a veteran now, I think, with over a decade of experience. Perhaps I can call myself that, but as a veteran of the biotech industry, there are so many companies that are investing in research and development for cancer treatment. And we're grateful for every single one of these companies. It's not just CancerVax that has the solution. There are so many people, and we need to work together in a collaborative fashion.
That's right. Lots of fellow travelers, and we're supportive of everything that's going to find a better way to treat cancer. And that's why our commitment with the extraordinary team at UCLA is so exciting.
The UCLA research team, they're so impressive. And it's really, not only is it amazing at the progress that they've made, Byron, but as you just look at their credentials, look at these guys' resumes, look at what they do every single day. And CancerVax is privileged to be a part of that and to work with people like that.
Yeah, an international team, by the way, women and men from all over the world. And we meet with them regularly, at least once a month, right down at UCLA. And every trip's amazing, but I'll tell you, the last one was a real eye-opener for me. And to see the The commitment from their standpoint, the collaboration that happens real time in those meetings, and quite frankly, the pressure that they feel to come up with something better is really, really exciting.
It really is pretty amazing to find doctors and researchers who have a passion for curing the disease. They truly are on the front lines of cancer treatment. And you mentioned that they're from everywhere. Listen, we were sitting, Byron, you and I were sitting in a room with someone from Brazil and someone from Mexico, two people from Australia, somebody from Taiwan, someone from China.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of schmucks like us from America, but it's
and one Canadian.
And a Canadian, yes. But really the impact that this has on the patients that they take care of. And it goes beyond the patients, right? Obviously, if you have cancer, that's the big concern for you, but it's on the families of those patients as well, right?
That's right. And listen, they have the street cred, right? This is what they do for a living, and they're the best in the world at it. I sit back and watch in amazement as they do this. But I will tell you, just to see, I've described it as like an Oppenheimer moment for me, right? Best and the brightest working on something that no one's figured out yet. But the one thing I do take out of it is their excitement for it. And I really believe we're on the right track here. And so do they.
It's interesting because our focus at CancerVax is on immunotherapy. And to those who watching or listening who don't understand what immunotherapy is, immuno is the root word for immune. And we're essentially informing the immune system to recognize what's going on from a bad standpoint, right? And utilize the body's own immune system to fight cancer. And when successful, and I believe we will be successful, that immunotherapy treatment will allow the body's immune system to fight cancer without those negative side effects that you've experienced and so many other cancer patients have experienced.
Yeah. So thanks for that explanation, because it almost sounds like science fiction. And so for those of us who understand the problem, have maybe experienced it, but don't know how it all works, this whole field of immunotherapy and that description just there is very helpful, and how it will segue into a better, more cost-effective, less painful way to treat cancer. And every time I hear you explain that, I'm again so impressed with the team from UCLA and their expertise.
And let me break down what immunotherapy is, what it means, how it works. Every single one of us has an immune system, and our immune system is designed to fight disease and fight the bad guys off, right? And so one of the things that we're doing at CancerVax is we're identifying unique markers that cancer tumors have that healthy cells don't have. And so oftentimes a cancer cell will share a cell with a healthy cell. And in a chemotherapy standpoint, the immune system then goes to attack all of those cells, healthy and the bad ones. And so really the crux for us is identifying these biomarkers, these unique things that identify something that a cancer cell has that a healthy cell doesn't have. And then it allows the immune system to go to work and do what it does.
Yep. I get it. Thank you for the explanation that even somebody like me can understand it. The mission is really clear. We are looking to revolutionize cancer treatment through, as you've articulated, immunotherapy. And it's in my rearview mirror now, but man, I sure wish this was around when I had my cancer.
Yeah, I sure do too. It would have been so much healthier and so much nicer for you to be able to utilize an immunotherapy treatment like what CancerVax is developing than the treatments that you went through. But we're committed to get there. Byron, my father, my uncle, two of my uncles, three of my cousins, my grandfather, so many have had the same kind of cancer that you had. It's hard. I'm just so excited and so encouraged that we're able to develop new ways to allow immunotherapy to treat cancer.
And so, Ryan, UCLA, they've, as I understand it, and I'd love to hear you just talk about this a little bit. There's really, the developments are in like 3 separate pipelines, right? And beyond what we had in a very short period of time, have made progress in a way that we hadn't thought. Tell everybody in layman's terms again, kind of what those 3 pipelines are and how amazing and exciting it is.
Sometimes it's really hard to talk technical terms and layman's terms, but because I'm not a scientist, I think I'm pretty okay at that. But we have 3 different projects, and each is a different pipeline. And understand that when you talk about a pipeline, it could be 3, 4, 5, 6 drugs that come out of a single pipeline. But we're only going to talk about 3 right now. The first one is Ewing sarcoma, which we call kids cancer. Yep. Ewing sarcoma is a cancer that affects children and adolescents, bone, soft tissue. It's sad, Byron, to even talk about and even to think about, because the mortality rate is so high. There aren't great drugs there. And so we're super excited to make an impact on that field and to help kids. You're a father, I'm a father. And anytime a child has cancer, that pulls at our heartstrings. And so the fact that we can have one of our platforms targeted on coming up for cures for children's cancer, kids' cancer, that's a big deal for me. And I know it is for you too, Byron. The second platform that we have, we call our universal cancer vaccine platform. Again, the word platform is really important, because platform means that we can develop numerous drugs off the single platform. We have to tweak them a little bit, but this one is really designed to treat multiple different cancers. And so in this instance, what we do is we look for markers, as we talked about earlier. We look for markers in cancer cells that are different from those of healthy cells. So is there something unique about a cancer cell that a healthy cell doesn't have? And if there is, we want to find it. We will identify it. And then we will create an antigen, allowing the bodies, we will deliver that antigen through a shot. And we will then inform the body's immune system to pay attention to that one single marker that the cancer cell has that the healthy cells don't have, allowing the immune system to detect and mark and kill those cancer cells. That one blows me away. It makes me so excited. And the third program, the third pipeline that we have that we're working on, Byron, is a universal CAR T cell program. This is a powerful tool that can make CAR T cell treatments much more accessible. Right now, to get a CAR T cell treatment, it'll cost over $500,000 for one single treatment. Let me think about that for a minute. That's more than most people pay for a house. And so our objective is to turn the body into its own CAR T cell manufacturing facility and to figure out a way to deliver these CAR T cell treatments at a fraction of the cost. When I say a fraction, when we're starting at $500,000 and we talk fractional cost, we're talking a couple thousand.
Wow.
Still expensive, but wow, what a difference that could make in the world. So those are the 3 programs that CancerVax is working on.
And now accessible to literally everybody. That's incredibly impressive. And how lucky both of us are to be involved in this initiative. So just to sum that up, it sounds like we're on our way to finding a better way to treat cancer.
Yeah, we are. We are really working hard. We've partnered with really smart people, some of the best in the industry and some of the best in the world. Now, if you've been around social media, you've probably seen some of the buzz that we've generated. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. Cancer affects everybody. It affects so many people. And we've already received so much tremendous support, and we're grateful. We've received stories from survivors, even stories from people who haven't survived, but these stories are impactful and they propel us to move forward. It really does. It encourages us and makes us excited to keep moving forward.
Yeah. And with your background, Ryan, biotech has always been a big contributor to the economy and one of the big growing sectors. We talked about the cancer trends earlier. They're only getting more and more significant. If this continues, then biotech and what we're doing becomes all the more important and exciting. And let's be honest, our goal is to be one of the leaders with these treatment options, with everybody else that's working on it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people working on it, and we need that, Byron, because this is a very nuanced space. And so this is not a game where there's only a single player, a single winner, right? This is a game where there are dozens and dozens of companies that can win. And we hope to be one of those winners, right? As we continue to develop our pipeline and garner more attention and see more of the support that's coming from bigger biotech companies, we think they're going to start knocking on our door. It really, I have been in the biotech space, as you mentioned, for nearly over a decade. And companies like CancerVax really serve as almost a business development arm for big pharma. And so obviously our goal is to put drugs into the that help people, right? That's our goal.
Yeah. So with companies like Johnson and Merck and all the ones that are working on it, you think, well, how can CancerVax compete with that? If I hear what you're saying, we really become like research arms for them.
Yeah.
Where does CancerVax talk a little bit about how we play into that whole picture and that whole solution?
Yeah, and I've never looked at CancerVax as a competitor to a Sanofi or a Merck or a Genzyme or a Pfizer or a J&J. What we are, as we're a business development arm, we're doing the high risk, early stage work. And then what happens is they come in and they license and or buy the product that we've developed. And so you really need to look at CancerVax more as a business development arm to big pharma than anything else. And that really is our goal. Our goal is not to hire a whole bunch of sales reps that are knocking on doctors' doors every day. Our goal is to do the hardcore, really important research and development, hand it off to big pharma. As we hand it off, that handoff means a huge financial return for people who've invested and participated in our company up until that point. And it allows them to utilize the resources that they have, which really are vast, to move this drug forward.
Well, that's exciting. The question I get from people is, so why should I care about and be excited about the work that CancerVax is doing?
I would say, first of all, we're trying to cure cancer. We're focused, and we're really focused on doing things in a different way. And I would say the biggest differentiation is that we're informing our body's own immune system to take care of problems. And if you look at Western medicine today, which I support, but if you look at Western medicine today, it can be very invasive and toxic and hurtful. There are side effects. Listen to a pharma commercial during the Super Bowl and listen to all the side effects that they list at the very end of that commercial. But if we can simply inform the immune system to recognize a problem and take care of the problem, I think we've won the game. And that's really what we're trying to do.
And this is, I've had this come back to me. The fact that we're doing it with the people at UCLA who have such street credibility and have done so much amazing work really makes all the difference, doesn't it?
No, it really does. And Byron, I get emails, dozens and dozens of emails every week from parents of people or people who have cancer and first are asking if our treatment's available, which it's not yet. I wish it were. But what they say is, at least we're working with UCLA.
Yeah.
And that gives me a lot of confidence in the decision that we made from a business standpoint and a scientific standpoint to partner and team with some of the very, very best oncology researchers in the world.
This has been great. Let's wrap this up. So let me summarize. Cancer is not going away. It's only going to be more and more. The spending to try to figure out how to treat it is going to skyrocket, creating a real demand for treatments like ours. I needed it. Obviously, from a personal standpoint, I'm looking forward to the time that it becomes available and accessible and more affordable to everybody. But that's really where we are at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and to learn more, just visit our website, www.cancervax.com. You'll find a lot of information there. We try to interview a lot of people that are integral, that are key opinion leaders in this space. There's a lot you can learn about what we're trying to do and how you can get involved as well.
Yep, www.CancerVax, that's CancerVax.com. So in summary, Ryan, somebody comes up to you, give you your elevator pitch. How would you summarize CancerVax?
That's a great question. CancerVax isn't just a company. It's a beacon of hope for cancer patients everywhere. CancerVax is bringing about the future of cancer treatment, Byron. I think that would be my elevator pitch. And we would love the involvement of absolutely anybody who's been affected by cancer.
Which is almost everybody. Very well said. And I have had the same experience as I talk to fellow cancer patients and survivors. They are so excited to hear what we're doing.
Yeah. Everyone, thank you for joining us today and being part of our transformative journey. It really is transformative. And as with anything, it's hard to do something alone, but together we can make a change. We can change cancer treatment. And so we thank you for your time today.
Thank you.